Though want to get more on these FBI insider trading arrests. For that, let's bring in Tom Newkirk. He handles securities litigation and was an official at the SEC for 19 years. Tom, is this kind of unfolding as you expected as the investigation continues to look into insider trading here?
Well, I think this shows that the SEC and the Department of Justice have finally found the hedge fund case where they can make a big splash. The SEC staff has believed for years that the hedge fund industry has been full of insider trading but never been able to make a big case out of it. Now they have a big case and are able to make a big splash. I think this also shows that the SEC and the Department of Justice are being more aggressive than they have been in the past in doing cases like this.
Tom, just to jump in, we've heard some in the industry had been notified the arrests would be coming and were given the opportunity. Do you want to come in? Do you want to cut a deal? Is that normal? Had you heard anything along those lines occurring this week?
I haven't heard that that's been coming in this particular case, but this is pretty much the standard practice. If you have somebody who you can turn into a cooperator, you want to do that. And it looks like that's what they did successfully here, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get the ability to get the wiretap approved by a judge. That's my guess, at least, and build the case with a bunch of cooperators. It reminds me of what happened back in the 1980s when Dennis Levine had a insider trading ring that led to Boski, that led to Milken, and that it just radiated out, where the Department of Justice with Rudy Giuliani in New York as the U.S. Attorney was being very aggressive. And that also reminds me that it got a little bit too aggressive because a number of people who got to do perp walks, ultimately the Department of Justice had to drop the case.
Thomas, this is Scarlet in the New York newsroom. I wanted to follow up on how 14 people were arrested, but we only know the names of 7 of those. 7 people's names were not released. Is that significant in any way, especially if the Fed is intent on making this a kind of a model for what they're going to do with looking into hedge fund insider trading? Well,
if they've arrested them, eventually who they are is going to come out pretty quickly. But it certainly does show a far more aggressive approach to insider trading and to what's maybe going on in the hedge fund industry, or at least parts of it.
Hey, Tom, it's Adam Johnson here. How much, or to what extent does the government really need a smoking gun? Or if they simply turn the screws hard enough, is that going to be good enough and guys will just cave?
Some people will cave, but some people will undoubtedly fight. That's going to depend on what the evidence is and what the inclination is of the people involved. Insider trading cases are very hard to prosecute without having direct evidence and a cooperator who'll hold up in trial. So I think that's a long way to go to see how many of these cases really hold up. Insider trading cases are not easy. The SEC, in insider trading cases that have gone to trial, the SEC has lost almost half of them over the last 5 years.
Not easy, but obviously that investigation widening. Hey, Tom, thank you so much for breaking this down. Tom Newkirk of Jenner Block.